So yeah, I promise you all one thing, and that is to keep you up to date on all things Cyberpunk. And guess what? We have news today, leaks. We've got leaks about the free DLC that's coming up here. And also we're going to be talking about Expansion Pack 1 because interestingly, it seems like CD Projekt Red internally is calling it Expansion Pack 1, which could indicate we could be seeing more than one expansion. It seems like to me, a lot of the team over at CD Projekt Red perhaps want to really push this game as far as possible when it comes to longevity, when it comes to that long-term support. But anyway, we're also going to be talking about a bunch of other stuff related to Cyberpunk versus, guess what, Red Dead Redemption 2. An interesting discussion there. But I have a question for you all. Check this out right here. V4 Rick posted this on Reddit. It says, "A thing of beauty I know," and he shows off this amazing Cyberpunk tattoo. It says, "Never fade away." So here's the question. If you can get one tattoo from a video game, what would it be? Sound off in the comments below. I gotta know. But yeah, shout out to Fighter FPS who posted this to me on Twitter. Remember, follow me on Twitter as well. He says, "Hey, next DLC for Cyberpunk will have new gigs." Palasasco leaked it in his last stream. So let's take a closer look at all of this right here. And then, of course, says, according to Palasasco's bookmarks, we will get some new gigs as free DLCs. But there's some other interesting things going on right here. And you can see the screen cap of his stream. And you can see his bookmarks clearly showcase DLC 4 gigs right there. Now, there's also something called Episode 1 Milestones, which is interesting. Episode 1 Structure. Expansion Pack 1. That's what that represents. Expansion Pack 1 Structure, and then Expansion Pack 1 OW. And then some other stuff there, narrative guidebook. But it's cool to see that he's also listening to some Cyberpunk 2077 music and a playlist, getting in the mood to develop for this game. So I thought that was really cool. But anyway, yeah. It looks like we're going to be getting some free DLC, and that's what they're working on right now. Some new gigs. I really hope these are more extensive than what we have previously got. And I did like what they did with the Fixer system more recently with Update 1.5, where they had awards attached to a certain fixer. Once you completed, all of the objectives, you got that award or loot item. I think they should continue down that path. I think it'd be really cool to have something like that for these gigs. We'll have to wait and see, but a lot of people are worried that it's going to be like only an hour of content. That could be very much possible, but we're really wanting something more beefy, of course. But hey, as long as we also get new weapons and new cars with the free update, that would be also really cool. But you'll notice here that, yes, it's called Expansion Pack 1 Milestone, which to me indicates that in their mind, they have a mindset right now that they would absolutely love to do more than one expansion, at least if Expansion Pack 1 does well, which to me, I think it could if they nail down the timing and everything like that we would potentially get more expansions. Man, it would be so cool if they could just support this long term like they, like Hello Games does with No Man's Sky, but we'll have to wait and see. But let's see some comments about this one from the community. We have this one from Sage Water Dragon, who says, "I feel like the bigger takeaway is that they're still calling the first expansion Expansion Pack 1 instead of just Expansion Pack. What a funny way for information to leak, but it's nice." Yeah, absolutely. Just to get any type of information about one of our favorite games, Cyberpunk. Then we have this one from B Village, who says this, "Yeah, I'm glad the name Expansion Pack 1 has been confirmed again. He called it that way a few streams ago as well. No doubt we are getting more than one expansion for this game, and why not? It can be a literal CD Projekt Red never-ending cash cow with the demand for more Night City and Cyberpunk in general." Yeah, to me, the demand is absolutely huge for Cyberpunk in gaming, especially, maybe in all of media, actually, because it's so absent. It's just not there. It's not oversaturated whatsoever. So yeah, they could really take advantage of this and go all in on it. Now, some disappointing news here. I checked out the Steam database for Cyberpunk, and there's nothing really being done right now for Cyberpunk. I haven't seen any indication that they are actually doing anything in the back end to prepare for a forthcoming patch or something like that. But hopefully we get something, some movement here to showcase that, yes, they are going to be updating Cyberpunk 2077 with some sort of patch, but perhaps that will be coming sometime in later summer. Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out about that one. Now, this is an interesting discussion right here. Some comparisons to, yes, Red Dead Redemption 2. I actually played that game again recently, completed it. I love, adore Red Dead Redemption 2. You have absolutely no idea. It is like the pinnacle for open world games. But then we have this from I Am God X Given. He says, what completely destroyed me after playing 200 plus hours of Cyberpunk and 30 hours of Red Dead Redemption 2. Says this, let me know if you agree with this take. Says, so I started playing Cyberpunk on a 1.3 version, eventually upgraded to 1.5, had 4 or 5 playthroughs, 3 of which I 100%ed, played as both male and female V without mods, with mods for my last playthrough. I even created my own mods replacing musing stations. Nice. My list of different mods on the last playthrough was definitely creeping closer to about 50, but dedication. Now he says, then I took a small hiatus cause of the whole war in Ukraine thing. Okay. Recently I started a Red Dead Redemption 2 campaign, and boy, oh boy, I can't wrap my head around how pathetic the immersion of Cyberpunk feels in comparison to Red Dead. Yikes, shots fired right there. Now, I'm not here to lick Red Dead Redemption's balls. I love Cyberpunk, but holy crap, the AI is atrocious. Such a stark contrast between different worlds just hit me like a ton of bricks. Night City is beautiful, hands down the best setting and the best city I've ever experienced in a video game, but man, do these dumb NPCs, non-existent cops, and completely brainless pedestrians ruin it. Now, I'm going to stop there for a second because I wanted to comment on some of this. So one of the things I was super impressed with when playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and simultaneously playing Cyberpunk back and forth basically was, of course, the bounty hunting system they had where you are absolutely chased by bounty hunters. It was so impressive. You can even run up to the bounty hunters and find them, you know, kind of chilling at abandoned churches and things like that and catch them off guard. I thought that type of system was amazing in the game. And the bounty system where you have to pay off, you know, the postal service area, I guess you would say, worked very, very well in Red Dead Redemption 2. This is something that I was just hoping for with Cyberpunk. And in fact, it has to happen in Cyberpunk by expansion pack 1. That's just my opinion. We have to see systems like this in the game. A really tangible working police system. Maybe even bounty hunters on top of it. Something involving max tech. They really got to flesh out that system to make this world more believable. And that's one of my biggest complaints right now with Cyberpunk 2077. And of course, it would be nice if they fleshed out random encounters and stuff like that. Now, the good news about this is we have seen job hirings from CD Projekt Red, where yes, they are hiring for random encounters for Cyberpunk specifically. So I'm thinking that will actually be updated through some sort of new update, or again, we have to wait for that expansion, but it's going to take some time, all this stuff to really develop for. I know it should have been in the game at launch. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of systems in Red Dead that work very, very well. But yeah, Cyberpunk has its own things going for, of course. The city is absolutely beautiful as we walk around here. It's there. It's just not all the way there. You know what I mean? We're getting closer and closer. Now, I wanted to mention something to you all that's super important to me. I have been covering a little game, you may know it, called, of course, Starfield. And I'm super excited for this game. I'm hoping that it's like a Skyrim from Bethesda, and people are like, wow, this is absolutely crazy. But yeah, please check out my Starfield videos if you want to. I did a most recent video called This is Big, the moment you've been waiting for, the gameplay reveal. So the gameplay reveal is happening for Starfield on June 12th, 10 a.m. I think it's PT time. Mark that on your calendars, everyone. It's going to be huge. But also, return to me. I'm going to have you guys covered when it comes to Starfield. Look out for my Starfield videos. You do not want to miss this. Trust me. All right, now it's time to go talk about my most recent Cyberpunk video, which is right here. Cyberpunk is doing the impossible. This is truly unbelievable. Brand new update. So this video had some interesting comments from you all, which I'm going to go over right now. But essentially, you know, Cyberpunk is actually doing pretty good when it comes to hitting the Steam chart sales numbers. That's also because it was 50% off recently, but it's a good sign that people are interested in purchasing the game and checking it out. And I think a lot of people are going to be very pleasantly surprised by the game now compared to what was being, I guess you would say, advertised by a lot of media and YouTubers, of course, during launch. It has completely changed. But all right, let's go into the top comment for this one. Small Reaper says this: the Cyberpunk world is just so beautiful. Legit, sometimes I open up the game to just drive around, really hope they keep pushing out the updates. Yeah, and you'll see here by my own gameplay, I just love walking the city. There's something about this game where you just really enjoy taking in what they have created. And yeah, so much potential. Mark Stenchen says this: yeah, pretty much agree with the comments on the ineffectiveness of street cred. There are a couple or three little side missions where it does you some good. Maybe a couple of dialogue options that open up if you have high street cred, but mostly it's just a gatekeeper for better gear, weapons, cyberware, and clothing. Lots of ways of potential on that front. So again, another system that really needs to be improved for Cyberpunk, and it seems like they're interested in tapping into that perhaps with the expansion. I don't expect them to completely rework like life paths, street creds, and things like that when it comes to the vanilla base game. But when we look at the expansion, that's really when they can invest their time, because they have the the support from CD Projekt Red, and I guess you would say investors. Now, Happy Cloud Gamer says, I would love to see more stuff to do in Cyberpunk and life improvements. Absolutely. You never know. They might surprise us. I'm not going to say that they're going to do life paths. I've already thought they would never ever touch romances, and they did. But maybe they will touch life paths. But my opinion is I seriously doubt it. But there it is, everyone. The latest happenings. Let me go into one more comment right here. Yeah, because this one got quite a bit of upvote. It says, yeah, sure. I feel like CD Projekt Red needs to release something more than item DLCs, or they risk people losing interest by 2023. Obviously, some won't. This uptick in active players won't have staying power if people have nothing left to do. Yep, 100% agree. I'm not saying rush out the expansion, but add new gigs or maybe some side missions. Give players something to keep them coming back. Also, I don't think they can afford to just release one expansion and see how it goes. If they do that, then it'll be another 2 years before the release. Before the next one releases. Got those words flipped. I mean, I imagine they would be working on both expansions at the same time. Waiting to see how well the first one sells would imply that they won't start working on the second expansion until they see how well the first one sells. By then, people will lose interest in buying the second expansion unless they catch it on sale one day. Yeah, this is a good point. Since the expansion will release more than 2 years after the game, I think it'll be one large expansion instead of two separate ones, testing the waters with one expansion to decide if they should make another one. It's unrealistic when they're already starting to shift to new projects. Yeah, that could actually be true. It's a waiting game. We'll have to wait and see. They can also go on a hiring spree if the expansion does like astronomical. If this first expansion does do crazy numbers or something like that, then they may take a pause and go, oh crap, we need to continue supporting this game. So I don't know, maybe they'll update the expansion. Who knows? We'll have to wait and find out. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk 2077 and open world gaming goodness. I have you guys covered. And yes, Star Citizen, and of course, Starfield. I hope to cover Star Citizen a little bit in here, just to kind of like prepare for Starfield. We'll have to wait and see. But thank you, and I will see you all next time. Take care.